When you think of Coal India, don't just think of a company. Think of a force of nature. Seriously, this is an industrial giant so massive, its operations are literally woven into the very fabric of India's economy and its power grid.
But here's the big question, right? What happens when that giant, whose entire identity is built on coal, has to face a future that's all about going green? That's the puzzle we're going to unpack in this explanator. Okay, let's dive in.
So, first things first. To really get what a challenge this is, you have to wrap your head around the sheer scale we're dealing with. We're talking about a true colossus.
Let's start with production. In just the last financial year, Coal India, or CIL, dug up 781 million tons of coal. Just try to picture that amount. It's an almost unimaginable figure, and it's been the primary fuel for India's growth.
And you know what? That operation is incredibly profitable. We're looking at a profit after tax of over 35,000 crore rupees. This isn't just some utility, it's a financial powerhouse.
And the company's reach, well, it extends far beyond the mines. Through its corporate social responsibility work, its impact is felt by an estimated 3.5 crore people. That's a massive social footprint.
So here's the bottom line. This isn't just any company. For decades, it's been the engine of the nation. But, even the most powerful engines can eventually show some signs of strain.
And lately, it feels like the ground underneath this giant has really started to shift, revealing some new and serious pressures.
Now this is where the story gets really interesting. It's like a tale of two timelines. The full financial year looked amazing, incredibly strong. But then you zoom in on the most recent quarter, and whoa, profit fell by 20% compared to the same time last year. So what's going on?
All right, let's break it down. They sold less coal at their e-auctions and got lower prices for it. That squeezed their profits. At the same time, their stockpile of unsold coal grew by a massive 24%. And on top of all that, their basic operating costs are climbing. It's a classic case of being pressured from all sides.
And this problem isn't isolated. Just take a look at some of its major subsidiaries. Bharat Coking Coal Limited, or BCCL, saw its profit plunge by 63%. Central Coalfields Limited, down 58%. This isn't a one-off issue, it's systemic. And a systemic problem demands a systemic response.
Which brings us to the pivot. In the face of these challenges and a rapidly changing world, Coal India is drafting a blueprint for a whole new era.
This single line from their latest annual report really says it all. It's a direct, public admission that things are changing. They know the future can't just be about digging up more and more coal.
So what do these new horizons actually look like? Well, they're scouting for lithium, the key ingredient for batteries, in places like Australia and Argentina. They're investing in ways to turn coal into cleaner fuels and chemicals. They're aiming to build 3 gigawatts of solar power capacity. And, get this, they're even getting into the thermal power business themselves. It's a full-on diversification strategy.
But this whole pivot isn't just about adding new businesses. No, it's also about fundamentally remaking their core operation of mining coal, making it greener, safer, and a whole lot smarter. Let's see how they're doing that.
Okay, this part is genuinely fascinating. They're turning what was once waste into something valuable. Old, used-up mines are being transformed into eco-parks. The waste rock they dig up with the coal, called overburden, is now being processed into sand for construction. And the water they pump out of the mines, it's being treated and supplied to nearly 12 lakh people.
And they've put a timeline on all this. By 2027, they want to hit that 3 gigawatt solar target. By 2030, they want to be aligned with India's goal to gasify 100 million tons of coal. These are concrete goals that turn sustainability from just a buzzword into an actual business plan. At the same time, they're bringing some serious technology into the mines themselves. Yeah, this isn't your grandfather's coal mine. They're using surface miners that don't require blasting, which is much safer and more precise. They've got GPS systems optimizing truck routes to save fuel and time. They're even using satellite data to monitor how well they're restoring the land. It's all about efficiency and transparency now.
And beyond the business, their social initiatives are becoming more and more innovative. I mean, they funded these Bandicoot robots to help end the horrific practice of manual scavenging. They've paid for hundreds of heart surgeries for children. This focus on high-impact projects shows a much deeper level of engagement with their communities.
So when you put all these pieces together, it brings Coal India to a fundamental crossroads, a moment that will absolutely define its future. This slide just captures the tension perfectly. On one hand, CIL has a job to do today: power India. In fact, they have a plan to produce a mind-boggling 1 billion tons of coal a year. But on the other hand, they have to navigate the reality of tomorrow: a global shift to renewables and a future where their main product is in decline.
And as their own strategic analysis says, their greatest strength, their total dominance of the coal market, is tied directly to their greatest long-term threat. The very thing that made them a colossus could become their biggest vulnerability. Which leaves us with this one final critical question. The pivot has begun, the blueprint is there, but can this giant, this engine of a nation, truly transform itself to power the next chapter of India's growth? Right now, that future is still unwritten.